everybody. This is the show called Box Seats, where we talk about sports with comedians. It's on the Humor Mill app. It's on the Humor Mill channel. Thank you all for watching. We got a great show today. We're going to talk a lot about sports, as we should. But let's get ready to get started bringing some of my fellow comrades in. My man Talent is in the building. T, what's going on, bro? How you doing, sir?
Hey, man, it's a blessed day, brother. Blessed day in the neighborhood. Got some more sunshine. Third day in a row, 70 degrees. Let the record show.
Whoa. 70 degrees. My man Fig's also in the building. Fig, what's up, man? How you doing?
It is definitely a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Could you be mine? Would you like to be my neighbor?
Yeah, neighborly is what we're going to be today. We're going to have to be neighborly today. We got a lot of stuff to talk about, man. Obviously, the Kyrie Irving situation is something we're going to jump into in a second. But before we jump into that, T, I'm going to throw this out there for you. So you get first crack at this one. Remember a couple months ago, we were talking about Miles Bridges, former Charlotte Hornets. He happened to be a free agent. He ended up pleading no contest yesterday to a felony domestic violence charge. He pleaded no contest in court. He had he pleaded not guilty to 3 felony charges in July. 1 charge of injuring a child's parent, 2 counts of child abuse under circumstances or conditions likely to cause greatly bodily injury or death. He ended up pleading to domestic violence toward a spouse. Those other 2 counts were dismissed. During his probation, Bridges will have to do 52 weeks of domestic violence counseling, 52 weeks of parenting classes, and 100 hours of community services and weekly narcotics testing. You hear that, T? It sounds like he basically is in jail without being in jail. So,
well, 52 weeks a year, so he got sentenced to a year right there.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. It's crazy, but the illest thing about this to me, though, T, is he is reportedly going to maintain custody of his 2 children with his wife, who is the victim of the violence that, he ended up falling into all that stuff messed with anyway. You hear all this stuff, T. Being that he's an athlete, I think he slid. If it had been me and you, we might have got really jacked up. You know what I mean? But what's your take on this?
My take on this ain't nothing but the new child support. this what the new child support, they make you stay in the house with the people. Not only are we worried about tracking you down to get this money, stay your ass in the house with these people. Be aggravated. All right. Do these hours. We're going to be checking and monitoring. And 52 years. We sentence you to a year with this miserable person you don't like already. That's why you're in trouble in the first place. But boom, the gavel goes down. I think this is the new child support.
Yeah. Listen, I ain't mad at that thought. I think it possibly could be. Fig, remember this. This dude was literally a free agent, and not one team in the NBA has contacted him. You think his NBA career is over? And what you think about this situation?
Man, listen. I hate it, man. I swear, man. I hate working for other people, man, because when you work for other people, they own you. If there was another league that he could go to, he may have a job. But look, and you beat up somebody, there's consequences to be paid, and these consequences is 52 weeks with the woman who is trying to kill you. The judge is giving her 52 weeks to figure out a plan how to poison him or hit him in the head with a frying pan while he dozes off. Do you know what it's like to have to stay awake or sleep with one eye open for 52 weeks? That's what he's going to have to do. It's ridiculous, man. But it's par for the course, man. I mean, look, once you cross the line and break the law, whatever consequences you have coming, you just got to take it with a grain of salt. I mean, because what you gonna do? You did one of my favorite shows back in the day was Beretta, and the song said, "Don't do the crime if you can't do the time." It's what it is.
Yep, it sure is. Sure is. Moving on. Let's see. Okay, here we go. The woman who's suing the San Antonio Spurs, Joshua Primo, turns out the woman is suing the San Antonio Spurs also, and player Josh Primo. She turns out to be the team psychologist. See, she's a team psychologist. So now she's suing Joshua Primo, she's suing San Antonio Spurs, and she's suing the NBA.
Of course.
Yeah, she's saying that she was flashed 9 times. Joshua Primo said it was just the way he was sitting down in his shorts. He was exposed. You know, his genitals got exposed. You know, and he apologizes for that. Now, I think he's going to clearly lose with this because the woman is a team psychologist. She's been, according to this, she's been the team psychologist for decades, and he in trouble. What's your take?
This is why I miss the old days, Frank. That happened to me one time on a ski trip by the pool, and by the time the breeze hit me and I realized I was exposed, I looked down, I looked around, everybody was looking down, we all knew what was going on. We just kept listening to the music. Those days, those are the good old days. I didn't do anything to nobody did nothing to me. We knew what it was, swim trunks, awkward sitting position, and no harm, no foul. If it's true that he sat a certain way, and this happens to us, man. You know, it's funny how our manhood been falling out and exposed up, down, sideways for centuries. Nobody said nothing. Matter of fact, they ain't even given a label. One titty came out in the Super Bowl. Now it's a wardrobe malfunction. You want to talk about bias? Anyway, if what he's saying is true, I've been there. So I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know if this is his cop out or whatever the case may be. But if it is true, ladies, lighten up. These things happen. You know what I mean? And we're adults. How many times have a man stopped a woman and said, "Excuse me, ma'am," you know, and they go, "Oh, something's out a little too much, or something's exposed, or whatever the case may be it a pool, the bikinis to the side, whatever." This is what adults do, man. If nobody's like really infringing on your space and like violating you and getting out of order, I mean, we got to be light on some of these things, man. So I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, Frank, and hope that what he's saying is true, because I bet.
Yeah, but you ain't been there 9 times with the same person, so I'm gonna give you.
You don't know how many times I've been. I just said I've been there. I've been there. If I could count all the pool parties I've been there, Frank.
Fake, what's your take on this, bro? The team psychologist is suing San Antonio Spurs, man, and San Antonio Spurs. Let's make sure we also add they released them immediately, and the word came out the following day.
They released him immediately because it had legal ramifications.
Yep.
And I don't know how it happened, but that's here and there. Like how it happened. If it happened like he said, then what's wrong with? How can you be a psychologist and your mind is weak? You know what I mean? You're examining, if you will, a basketball player who has on basketball shorts. That's what basketball players do. They wear shorts. They're not wearing the long ones, the ones down below the knee like they used to, because that was a problem. Right. Now they're wearing basketball shorts. If you could see up the man's pants 9 times, why didn't you say something the first time like, "Hey, you're exposed. I need you to cover up." You know what I mean? You could have said that the first time. So you waited until it happened 9 times before you decided that you was doing something. I think what happened is it built up over a period of time, and she has to go see a doctor, and her diagnosis should be she's cockeyed.
Take a sip, Frank. Here's the thing. The funny thing is they got a show called The First 48. If she was saying that the first 8 times, how about we start a new show? The First 8.
Oh my! It's gonna be one of those days. Before we jump in this Kyrie Irving situation, man, let's talk about the Houston Astros real quick, man, because we got to talk about this baseball, man. Houston Astros end up beating Philly. They go up 3-2. They 3-2. One more game, they win the World Series, man. It looked like they putting a chokehold on the Phillies, man. How you feeling right now about the Houston Astros in the World Series, bro? Even though a lot of people are hating them right now because they're known as the biggest cheaters in the game. How you feeling?
I mean, it's just evened out, Frank. I'm not excited. I'm looking for 7 games because if they didn't steal one and they didn't steal one back, everybody would win the games they're supposed to win. We're in the exact same place. You know what I mean? So I think that's what it is. I mean, the laws of gravity have settled in. We are exactly where we was if everybody won home games, and it comes down to that game 7 in Houston. And the thing is, can Cinderella find the slipper? You know what I
Well,
mean? If Cinderella finds the slipper in game 7, it's good. I don't think it's going to be over in Philly on game 6. I don't think so.
okay, so he don't think so. Actually, Game 6 is in Houston, if I remember correctly.
Is it?
Yeah, Game
Okay.
6 in Houston. They played 2 in Houston, 3 in Philly, and 2 in
Oh, they
Houston.
do 2-3-2. Okay.
Yeah, 2-3-2. So the next 2 are in Houston, and Houston Fig won 2 out of 3 in Philly. You know what I mean? So that's where we at right now. So what's your take on this?
I think this is what they call a law of reciprocity.
A what?
You know, the Houston reciprocity.
Okay.
Yeah, the Texans, the Houston Texans lost Deshaun Watson, so now they're gonna get the Houston Astros the World Series as compensation. You know what I mean? Because they don't have a snowball chance in hell of winning in the football in the NFL, so they're gonna give them the MLB. No, but listen, we hope for the baseball fans, the baseball aficionados, if you will, to have a 7-game series. So hopefully the Phillies could get in there and pull out a game and take it to the 7th game. But what's amazing, Frank, is your journalistic abilities. How you went from Myles Garrett exposing himself 9 times to a sport that has 9 innings. I think that's brilliant. You're a mathematical genius.
I take those accolades with.
And you're a mathematical pervert. How do you figure them numbers out? Who's watching those numbers?
All right, we got to talk about the biggest dog in the room right now, man. We got to talk about Kyrie Irving because everybody was saying one thing about Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving was sitting on the stance of what he said yesterday. He had the microphones in his face and everything else. The biggest news to me is after he said what he said, the Brooklyn Nets ended up fining him, and without pay, 4 hours later, he issued the apology. How are you feeling about Kyrie Irving, his thoughts, and everything he stood on? And then all of a sudden he issues his apology because he wouldn't say I apologize in the cameras, but as soon as he ends up getting hit with the out pay, the suspension without pay, then he releases the official statement that he apologized. Because they all he had to do was apologize on camera if he's going to issue an apology. You know what I mean? I'm like,
right. It don't matter. I think sometimes it's, you know how they say it's not what you say, but how you say it. It's also not what you ask, but who's asking. So I think he didn't take that opportunity because he felt a certain way answering to the media because they already had these predetermined conceptions of him and stuff. And I thought he felt a little animosity and a little defensive. So when they asked, it was like, listen, he kept it real general and bland without the apology. And then when it came from the top, from the people who pay him, who cut your check, sort of like what's going on with Kanye, the people who cut the check, stop the check, then it's like, okay, I know what I'm going to do. And if you pay attention, he issued an apology because people usually, when they apologize, they say, I'm sorry. Right. That's really literally two different things. Right. Being sorry and apologizing. Apologizing is exactly that. I apologize. I take that back. I didn't mean to hurt you. Boom, boom, boom. Now, feeling sorry is personal. That's different. One is for you and one is for me as well. And Shaq and somebody else brought that out, in the limelight on one of the shows, talking about, it was your boy Shannon, and he goes, well, he still ain't say sorry. Like, dude, you're doing too much right now. There's a clump of commentators of color who I think can say less on this, and they're going out of their way to, I don't know if it's to impress the people you work for, get on the popular end of things. I don't know what it is, but sometimes you just don't say nothing if you don't have anything to say. Like, the man comes out, he's getting tapped in the pocket, 5 games minimum, and which is a lot for him. And he issues what they've been waiting for, the apology. And what do you say when you read this long apology? He still didn't. He say he felt sorry. Yeah. I thought that was whack.
Let me just, before I throw it the fig, let me just ask you this one thing. I guess the thing that really stands out to me about all of this is the way it happened. Are you bothered by the way it happened? You know what I mean? Like the timeline. You know what I mean?
I'm not really, because I understand. I understand the apprehension of doing it in the form of, like, say, the media, like a post game interview,
Yeah.
because here's what these guys are trying to do, and he said it several times over the years. He's a basketball player by trade. This is what he does. This is how he makes his living. And anything you want to ask me basketball, I have no problem answering. It's when y'all go deep and personal, is when it gets a little tricky and I get defensive. And I'm going to give you the generic answer. It's a generic, and I'm going to answer you because by my contract, I got to take these questions, Q&As. But I'm not going to get as deep as you may like me to get. I think that after talking to other powers that be, like you said, it's one thing to issue a statement as opposed to being caught on camera. We always go back to camera to hold people accountable for everything they do in timeline. That's the world we live in now. A statement, I think it attacks and holds a different kind of weight. So I think the timing made sense of how and what he said. Again, he apologized. That's for the people who may have gotten offended by what he's saying. He never said exactly the parts that he agreed with or disagreed with in the documentary. By the way, we asked yesterday, what was the documentary? It's from Hebrews to Negroes.
Right.
And Shaq's getting a little backlash on social media now because they said Shaq spending so much time worrying about Kyrie's business, he need to check his own business, because that documentary aired in Shaq's movie theater in Newark, New Jersey.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That premiered there. So where you at with it, buddy?
Fig, what's your take on this overall situation? And I really want to know, here's my big question to you is, how are you feeling? Because you were really adamant about one stance about that. How are you feeling about Kyrie Irving right now, knowing he issued his apology only after they threatened his paycheck? Not threatened. They actually took his paycheck. They took his paycheck at least 5 games. He got right now, it stands right now, he got at least 5 games. Because yesterday, it seemed like he was on a moral cause. He was up there for everything else. But as soon as they took his paycheck, we look at something different. Fig, I can't hear you. You're on.
The thing is, Frank, is that when those who oppress you also feed you, you have to capitulate. You have to do what it is that they ask you to do, because your survival depends on them. And this is what I keep preaching about all the time, is that we need to take some kind of ownership of our own, so we're in a position that we could just stand up and be men. Because if somebody is feeding you, they're clothing you, and they're putting money in your pocket, then you have to do whatever it is they ask you to do. Or what it is that they're slowly killing you. And that's pretty much what they're doing. The thing that I really don't like about it is, back in the slave days, when a slave got out of line, they tied him up, out in the public. And sometimes they made other slaves beat him in front of everybody so they could see. And as far as I'm concerned, Shaq, Charles Barkley, Shannon Sharp, all the pundits that are doing this to Kyrie Irving, they're like that slave that is made to beat the one who got out of line and get him back in line, because they're also being paid by those who have been oppressive. I think what Kyrie basically is trying to say is that I consider myself a Jew, so how can I be anti-Semitic? And whatever position he takes from there should be enough. Like, how can you be anti something that you already are? In his mind, and what he's actually stated, is that he considers himself an original Jew, and his lineage is from a Jewish lineage. So he said he's not anti-Semitic, and he said that he doesn't agree with everything that's in the movie. He just thought it had some good points, and that's why he put it out there. So now he came out and he apologized, and people are still jumping on him. I hate the apology tour. Everybody that is offensive has been made to go on this apology tour where I have to be sorry and I have to sit down with those that I've offended. Yet our people have been offended so many times, and nobody has ever apologized to us. Not once.
Yeah, Phil, you're going down another lane, though. I understand everything you said. I get it, and you're opening up a bigger, broader conversation, which we should have a conversation about, and there's some topics with that. But talent, let me throw it out there to you with this, T. Let me ask you this. Here it is. Kyrie Irving ends up issuing an apology. He puts at risk $330 million and counting of his check and everything else. Do you think after this contract is up with Brooklyn, do you think he ends up playing in the NBA again? Or do you think or do you think this is like the last straw that broke the camel's back? And do you think NBA owners might be saying, you know what, we don't want to deal with this no more because this is crazy because this is too much. Because KD didn't plan on this when he came to Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? The Brooklyn Nets didn't plan on it because it's been a barrage of all kinds of different things coming, the entire time. Where you at with that?
Yeah, I don't think it's over. I think it's over when he wants it to be over. First of all, the elephant in the room is he's way too good to discard. He's just that good. He would have to do some real outlandish-ish to be, call it the end for him. This ain't outlandish. This is ticking a few people off, ruffling a few feathers. You can't do that. Smack on the wrist, apologize. He's too good to say, oh, this is the last hurrah until he's ready to hang it up, put the sneakers up. I don't think it's that, severe with him. And I think also just as much amount of people we got going against him saying, oh, Kyrie's too much to handle. He's always doing something. He's this, that, and the third. We got just as much amount of people that stand by him and respect him for being a man of integrity. Right. I'm one of them. I'm the type of guy, like, agree or disagree, it doesn't matter. I gotta recognize and respect that you're standing by something. That's real man stuff right there. And I appreciate the humanistic value in that of him being a man and standing up like a man. We don't have to agree with everybody. Like, that's the thing that's the biggest part of hypocrisy when it comes to what we call in these days anti-Semitic. If you look up the actual dictionary definition of it, it's telling you either something hostile or going against the grain of the Jewish beliefs and that culture. When actuality, that would also mean that any other religion, in effect, just being in that religion, you're anti-Semitic. So it's kind of a big hypocrisy going on, and I don't think it's that big. I just think that you ruffle some feathers, like the same thing I said about Kanye. You happen to be in business, whether you know it or not, with people of that ethnic background and that religious belief and lifestyle. So if you say some things and they take it a certain way, you got to answer that. Sorry.
Okay. So Fig, the question I asked Talent is, do you think that the NBA will continue dealing with Kyrie Irving, or do you think that that this is going to be his last straw, his last go around with any team, and is that it after Brooklyn Nets? Because like I said to you, he's at least suspended at least 5 games. It could be more. You know what I mean? And after Brooklyn, do you think he can land on another NBA team?
That's really tough, man. I don't know. I sincerely hope not. If we break this down to his lowest term, his lowest form, he basically retweeted something and just said, "Hey, I checked out this documentary. It was pretty cool," and he retweeted it, and all of this dust up comes from that, which is insane. It just like it just is so beyond me that something this small could become this big, and in my mind, I'm wondering, what else is it? Because it's got to be more than this. You understand what I'm saying? It has to be more. It just can't be that. Somebody said, I like this movie, you should check it out. And then it creates this whole dust up to where he has to apologize. He has to be suspended. He has to be fired. He has to go on an apology tour. He has to be brought to the carpet. For what? Why all of these other men, black men, look like him, his contemporaries? Why are they calling him names? He's an idiot. He's a fool. He's dumb. He's this, he's that. Why? Because he retweeted about a movie? Like, how bad, how horrible are we? as a people? How low on the totem pole are we as a people that something like this can happen to us and no one at all can come to our defense and come to our aid and say, hey, this is not that big a deal. Why are you doing this to our brother?
All right, well, Fig, you opened up doors to more conversation, and they'll talk about other things. But that brings up my man Maurice Smith. He's in the building.
Yo, man, I'm excited to be here.
What's up, man? We this opens up the door for the segment what we call Sit Your Ass
Down.
You got the floor, bro. Take it away.
Man, listen, I'm gonna tell you, all week long, I've been right. I wrote this thing about 5 times all week long. Sit your ass. There's so much going on, but I'm gonna start it off with. I'm just gonna say this: where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? Because yo, the whole Brooklyn Nets organization need to sit they ass down. The whole organization. First of all, they got 3 all-star #1 picks sitting at 2 and 6, and they got the lowest season ticket base in the whole league. I just researched it. They got the lowest season ticket base in the whole league. You know what that means? People in New York would rather have a parking ticket than a Brooklyn Nets ticket. I'm just saying, yo. How much brain does Sean Marks, the GM, have? Like, he got players running amok, coaches who shouldn't have been hired, being fired. Like, to me, if brains was dynamite, he wouldn't have enough to blow his nose. I don't know what's going on over there with them. And the whole thing with Kyrie Irving, like, I'm not here to defend him or to disagree with him. I don't know if I want Kyrie Irving speaking up for me. I don't know if I want him the one to be speaking up, because on my side of the table, this just looked like another reason why he ain't got to go to work. He always found a reason to not have to go to work. It's like injury, no vaccination, anti-Semitic. I don't get it. I don't get it, man. I don't get it. And it's like you got to be really mildly retarded to pick a fight with Jewish people when you work in New York City. That's just how I see it. Like, you got to pick your blows, but that's what my mama say. But the whole organization, sit y'all asses down. For real. Somebody call Marlon Randolph. We need a staff meeting. For real. Aaron Rodgers, sit your ass down. Aaron Rodgers is catching up to Aaron Rodgers. If you look back a few years ago, remember he had a problem with the way they were drafting. He talked about it even though they went to the NFC Championship. He had a problem with the way they were coaching, even though they ran deep into the playoffs. Then they drafted a quarterback. He had a problem with that. Then he was taking extended vacations. He told everybody, don't worry. Then he wound up on Jeopardy. Now everything he said, everything he complained about is catching up to his ass. He don't even know what to do his damn self. Aaron Rodgers, sit your ass down. For real, things I don't want to see on TV no more. Kyrie Irving, Aaron Rodgers looking like he don't know what to do, and the people over at Camp Lejeune. That's what's getting on. If you were at Camp Lejeune, please call them people so they can stop interrupting my TV shows and calling me on the phone and sending me emails. And if you a lawyer for them, ain't no more people gonna sign up. You pushing it.
Right, what's 3?
Cincinnati Bengals offensive line. Sit your ass down. They let little Joey Burrow get hit more times than Ike hit Tina. He had more hits than a crackhead on the first of the month. He had more hits than the Beatles. Y'all see where I'm going with this? Coming through with more hits than the Braves and the Yankees. Their offensive line need to sit their ass down and figure it out. Sitting at 4-4 in the AFC North, and they got the Panthers this Sunday. Who can beat them? And the Ravens just got better with Raekwon Smith. They better step their game up if they plan on going deep into the playoffs. Listen, before I get out of here, y'all know I'm all about it. It was a lot of stuff I could have talked about, but the last thing I think I want to talk about, Josh Primo from the San Antonio Spurs.
Mm-hmm.
Sit your ass down. He supposedly exposed himself a number of times to a woman. She went to the staff and they did nothing about it. San Antonio Spurs, sit your ass down. All of a sudden, if he hadn't release, he says that he's been traumatized in the past. So traumatized, hell, means that you just pull your thing out and show it in front of people. Sit your ass down. For real. And what I'm trying to figure out is now all of a sudden the Spurs, she drops the suit, the Spurs let him go. He pleading to Shaggy. It wasn't me.
Did you say he had a release?
It wasn't me. Listen, all I know is all these women, if you keep messing with them, they gonna be in your pocket like Jay-Z out the elevator. Sit your ass down.
That's my man Maurice Smith with the segment called "Sit Your Ass Down."
I'm out of here.
Hey, Frank. I think with Maurice, that's the problem. The dude in San Antonio, that's when his junk fell out, when he sat his ass down. That was the problem. He was covered when he was standing up. He was covered.
That might be it. But speaking of sit your ass down, we've got to look at this topic. I don't even know if we got to talk about this, man. Dan Snyder announced he's selling the Washington Commanders, and the next day, well, actually within hours, it's been released that there's going to be a federal investigation into Dan Snyder and the Washington Commanders on how he was running the team between them and the NFL, which means now the feds are getting involved. Speaking of sit your ass down.
You better hurry up and sell it.
This is the reason why you sell the team.
Yeah, so you better sell that joint quick. Once you sell it, they can't do that. It's over. It's not mine. I don't know what's going on over there.
Look, he like Ezekiel and Fridays. My neck and my back. I'll sell out of court for 2 5-balls and a 40-ounce.
Go ahead, T.
No, I think we've seen this coming too. It was such a mess over there, man. From general management to ownership to coaching to quarterback. It was a lot, man. And the behind the scenes and the change the name fiasco. It's been a few years of just turning a molehill into a mountain instead of going in reverse. And you just seen it writing on the wall. What made me tickle when this information came out yesterday is the amount of people trying to put something together to buy the team, from RG3 to a couple of entertainers that think they got money, to Jay-Z name rumored. You got a lot of people name ruined that want a piece of this team.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, the thing is it's all going to be based now on what the feds are going to find going on involved. Because I think what the feds find could literally disrupt what a lot of people might want to with this team too. Let's not forget that. And it's going to be laughable, literally, what they uncover. You know what I mean? I just feel that way. What's your take, Fig?
The funny thing, I laugh when people say that the feds are investigating. There's no such thing, Frank. When the feds start coming to you, they have already investigated and they have found everything that they needed to find. The feds don't come. The feds are not like the cops. The cops show up, be like, all right, what's going on here? Let me see what's happening. Nah, man. The feds have been watching you for a long time and they already know what's going on. And by the time they knock on your door, you all you can do is like, hey, we caught. They got us. They got so much. They got years and years and years of evidence on Daniel Snyder and everything that's been going on in there. Here's the funny thing, Frank. They in D.C. That's where the Fed's headquarters is. They're right there. You mean to tell me you can? That's like doing something in your living room while the feds are in your bedroom. And they can see everything that's going on. You right there in D.C. They know everything that Daniel Snyder did. The only thing they can do, he can sell a team, but everybody that did something is probably gonna go away or they owe some money or something like that. But they got to start all over from everybody except the players. They got to get rid of the coaches. the everybody that was in charge, the people who drafted, everybody in the front, all the office people, they gotta go. New regime. Everybody except for the guys on the field, because they ain't got nothing to do with this. The players ain't got nothing to do with this.
Yeah, you need the guys in the field. Mo, talk to me, man. You hear about this federal investigations coming, like Fig said. I think there's going to be some federal indictments coming down the pipe too. What you take?
I don't know what's going to happen, but like Fig said, man, for real, the feds don't show up while they doing it. They show up. It's just when the feds knock on your door, there's only one thing to do: sit your ass down.
Yep.
That's it. That's only, I mean, but listen, dehumanizing women over there, the name, not wanting to change the name for how many years after they asked him to, being stubborn. To me, he sounds like every other NFL owner. He just got caught. That's what it is. Yeah. So it's about, and you know what? What is it? The one guy in Indianapolis, he says he's gonna blow the whistle, on everything.
Yeah.
The owner over there. So, Snyder, listen, sell the team, get rid of it. It ain't like he gonna walk away without no money. He gonna walk away with way more than what he put in.
Listen, once you sell the team, you good. Just sell it. Bruh, let me explain something to you. You could buy a crack house today on sale. Now, don't get no dirty and grimier than that. It was a crack house. Many things happened in there, but guess what? It's on sale. Bring you a lawnmower, some bleach, some Lysol. You got a new duplex.
So we got to also talk about the NFL game, man. We got to talk about that because the Eagles, I know I was sitting there saying to myself at halftime, you mean to tell me this game is tied 14-14? And then the third quarter, I was like, you mean to tell me the Houston Texans are still in this game? Until obviously the Eagles ended up pulling it away. I don't think, I'm going to go on record right now, I don't think the Eagles are going undefeated. Matter of fact, one of the next two games, I think they're going to lose because they're not playing.
Did you change your mind about what I said? What did I tell you? The Titans.
About what? Oh, yeah, I think it's the Titans. Yeah, I think it's going to be the Titans. Because they played horrible against Houston. Houston's one of the worst teams in the league. What's your take on Houston remaining undefeated, though, last night, though, T?
You mean Philly? Well, Philly's still undefeated because it was Houston, which is, like I said, a weaker team in the league. But let's keep it real. We said this before with other sports, too, that you do end up in sports, you play down to who you play down to sometimes. So you could be this great, powerful team, and you play this bum team, and you look bum. Because you're just doing what it takes to win. You're not really going out there with your, playing the top game you can play and just execute each, because you feel in your heart of hearts, no matter what, we can come out and you beat them. It's just the Texans. But that same mentality, what I've noticed about Philly in the latter part, say the last 3-4 weeks, is they do run out of gas. Depending on how they come out, here's Philly. When they come out weak, they come out with that second wind in the second half. When they come out guns a-blazing, they get tired and run. They get tired real fast, and the game is closer than it needs to be. And that's what you saw last night, a game closer than it needed to be. But they're going to face a team like the Titans, and I think that I'm not even looking at tonight, just in general. I think the Titans will beat them. They'll be the team to beat them.
Okay, you think the Titans will be the team to beat them? Fig, are you concerned about the Eagles right now? Because the Eagles literally showed some chinks in their armor last night playing against the Houston Texans. I don't know if it's going to be the Titans. It definitely really could be the Titans, but I think one of the next two games they're going to definitely lose because it's getting to that point. What's your take?
In the NFL, like I say, it's any given Sunday that you could lose to another team that is got a chip on their shoulder and they after you. But last night, I don't think it was that. I think, look, it was a short week. It's Thursday. They played Sunday. Now they got to play Thursday. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So they really only had, 3.5? You got a travel day. You really planned on 2 to 3 days rest. You know what I mean? After coming off an NFL Sunday. You got that. And then the team that you're playing against, like Talon said, you play down to the level of your competition. So, I mean, you put those two things together. All right, the Eagles did look bad. And then when it was time, for them to kick it in and pull away and go ahead and win the game, that's what it is that they did. Now, going forward for Sunday, now they got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, And then they got the rest of the week because they ain't got to play until another Sunday. So now you got 10 days off, which is an advantage on the next week. So they got an advantage going forward. I don't think they're going to lose the next one because they'll be well rested. They probably got a nice.
And I think they got a bye.
Oh, do they have a bye?
They might have a bye coming up because I don't see them on the schedule for next week.
Yeah, they might.
So maybe, so now you got a bye. Oh my God! So now you got 2 weeks rest, and you get to really sit down. Guys get a little recovery time, a little rest, relaxation. No pun intended. You know your massage, your ice bath, all that stuff like that. You know what I mean? And you get an opportunity to get ready for the next team. I would hate to be the next team that has to play the Eagles because they're gonna be well rested. Yeah. And they'll probably be, they probably watch a lot of film and they'll be ready for the next team that they have to play.
Okay, that's just thing. Mo, talk to me, man. The Eagles have been undefeated. The Eagles look like they were neck and neck and almost lost that game last night. They were able to pull it out. Do you think the Eagles going to continue to go undefeated, or what's your take on this, bro?
Yeah, they're not going to be. Listen, I remember when the Patriots were undefeated, and when they got closer towards the end of the year, remember they were blowing teams out by like 30 and 50 points, and then at the end of the year, the league is going to catch up to them, just like they caught up to the Patriots. The league is going to catch up to them. They were giving up yards on the run. They were giving up them yards like they was on the first 48. Dude was running off. Dude was running all over. He was running up. I can't remember the name of the running back. He was running up and down the field on them. So the league is going to catch up to them eventually. No, they're not going to go undefeated. No,
hey man, listen. Don't bring up the Patriots. Frank is a Patriots fan. Don't talk about their undefeated season.
No, I'm not. I'm a Giants fan. Just wait a minute.
He said, "No, I'm not."
I know Frank is a Patriot fan. I live in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
I live in there. And think, how Ice Cube said on Higher Learning, I'm behind enemy lines, dog.
You really are. All right, so T, let me move the subject along too. Now with this in the NBA, there's two things jumped off. We're gonna talk about Tyler Hero in a second, but we got to talk about problems in Golden State. You think Golden State now is 3-6 on the year? They had a 16-point lead last night. They lost to Orlando, which is one of the worst teams in the league last night. And they're saying, like, listen, people are coming after us and everything else. People are saying the young boys not playing up to what they're supposed to be playing, and their defense is one of the worst defenses in the league so far. So that's the number statistically. Do you think people should be worried about Golden State right now because they're 3-6, or is it just still too early? Only 9 games in for them. What's your take?
No, this is early. Again, you're halfway to the mark of 20 games, which is the not so early point. Right now, it's still early. And here's the thing: it's Golden State. They're the champs. You ain't allowed to worry until they worry. You know what I mean? Like when I did adult films, and they were worried about the next scene, and don't you worry unless I worry.
Did you say adult films?
When you hear meat rack on the set and you can't find me, then you worry. Don't worry until I worry.
Yeah.
I'm coming right now. I got my towel on, got my little fluffer. I'm coming. Oh.
No pun intended.
Don't worry until the champs worry. That's my motto in this situation. It's Golden State, bro.
All right. Big. Steve Kerr said he's gonna mix and match the lineup for Golden State because he's looking for a new solution and everything else. What's your take on is there problems in Golden State right now? Do you see?
No, I didn't anticipate this, but I anticipate a little growing pains because Steve Kerr is giving the bench a lot of the young players a lot of time, which probably will pay off later on in the season, to figure out who is ready to step up and who isn't. You feel you got a lot of guys there, a lot of young guys who's getting a lot of playing time. You got your Weissman, your Kumingas, your Moody's, you know what I mean? You got your Poole. So these guys are playing a lot of minutes. They're not playing, Steph, Clay, Draymond. They're not playing them a lot of minutes like they used to. The veterans are not playing as many minutes. They're sitting on the bench, and And like Steve Kerr said, he's mixing and matching. You know what I mean? And he's just trying to see which combinations work the best. And then he's going to establish what they call a lineup. You know, how you come in, who's going to come off the bench first. You know, which guys are going to play with which guys. So he's mixing and matching. This is the experimental time. And like Talent said, the champs never worry until it's actually time to worry. And with all the money that they have in Golden State, they have plenty of fluffers.
Okay, that's what they're talking about. Fluffers.
Yes,
Yes. Talk to me,
a
man.
plethora.
Talk to me,
A plethora of fluffers.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'll just say, you know, Steve Kerr is doing what he just rested his players in the beginning and let the young ones get some run. You know, it's gonna like they fix. It's gonna pay off in the long run. You know, he's giving because you know Draymond, Clay, Steph, they old, man. They can't run and gun all year long and bang around. They old, man. You know, they getting ARP cards in the mail soon. You know, for real. So he gonna let these young boys, as long as this is a team where they don't care where they get into the playoffs, as long as they get into the playoffs, and then the boys are gonna come out to play, as much as I hate to say it.
Okay, I like that assessment. So let me start with T. The next question, T. Tyler Hero threw up a game-winning shot last night. It was released that he traveled. The NBA released a statement saying, "Yes, we agree. He traveled on the game-winning shot." My thing is this: if the NBA releases a statement after, how are you feeling about after? So they're agreeing that the officials missed the call. They're agreeing all that. What good does it do to your team if you agree? If the NBA officially referees say, "Yeah, we missed the call," how does that make you and your team feel? Especially if you're a fan of the team too. If you say, "Okay, you're agreeing that you allowed this dude to travel and hit the game-winning shot on us, and we had to take an L." What's your take on that? How you feel? You're on mute, T.
Hold on a second. Hold on. His family is ecstatic. They're very happy. Because no matter travel or no travel, we got the win. We got the W. This is the thing, you can't go back and get the W's. That's the rule they need to start changing. That's the rule that I'm waiting to see change, because right now, you admitting it don't do nothing for me if I'm on the other team because you gave them the W. That was the call of the game. You know what I mean? Now, anybody in his family, his immediate family, they happy. They're ecstatic. Why? Because they're heroes. You're still a hero. You're a hero. So it's like, dude, you taking the win. Yo, if I'm in the room, somebody tell me something after the fact, Frank. I really don't care. Yo, that's like gambling. And, you know, you bluff somebody in poker. You really had a better hand than them, but they out-bluffed you and you turned in, they took all the money. And then you look what they got. You know, man, I was gonna. It don't matter what you was gonna do.
Yeah.
It's what you did that made me a winner.
There you go with that one. Fig, how are you feeling with the NBA coming out officially making a statement saying, yes, Tyler Hero did travel and with the game-winning shot against Sacramento Kings. He hits that game-winning shot. How are you feeling? And can you imagine if that happened against your beloved Knicks?
It happens a lot, Frank. You know what I mean? And that's the truth, man.
What, the losing part or the shot?
Hey.
Listen, it doesn't matter. Hey, I'll tell you like this. I think what's happening is they're throwing the referees under the bus. Mm-hmm. Because there's human error all the time. And show me a play where a player doesn't travel going to the basket or taking a shot. Like that happens all game long. So just because it was the last shot and it was the winning shot, this is the one that you're going to pay attention to? Like, come on, man. It's supposed to be 2 steps to a layup. They allowing a 3-step back. Now they got this one where you can back up and you could step 3 steps to the side. James Harden. Like they all been doing this, man. They're traveling all the time. It's like Yeah, a Euro step. It's a Euro walk. That's what it's like. What they did at the beginning of the season when they changed the rules, they gave everybody in the NBA a passport to travel as much as they want. So don't bring attention to it now. Don't bring attention to it now. The only time it really becomes painful to the fans is when it's in the playoffs, a playoff game, or if it's in the finals or something like that. That's when it really becomes. But as long as it's a regular season in one game, it's just like, this happens every day.
Mo, I'm pretty sure he would change his mind if that was against his Knicks. I ain't mad at him, though. He ain't lying. Mo, how you feeling like that right now, man? Tyler Hero takes the game-winning shot against the Sacramento Kings and wins the game. And they say
I understand that about as much as black people understand the McRib sandwich at McDonald's.
Oh, my God.
That's all I don't get. Listen, referees, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, they've been messing up calls for years. Instant replay don't mean nothing. I almost did a sit your ass down on the NFL referees with these roughing the passing calls.
Oh,
listen,
my God.
Listen, he like Vic said, they've been traveling the whole time. So what? It happened. They ain't the only one. Is that where the league crossed the line? No.
Yeah, I agree with that. He 100%. So this is the point of the time of the show. We get ready to talk about what everybody's going to do on the weekend, and because we can't wrap this up. So, Talent, you got the floor, man. Talk to me about what you got for the weekend, man, and tell us how we can follow you, T. T, you're on mute.
Hold on. This weekend's very busy starting tonight right here in New York, White Plains, New York at the Coliseum. It's our finale. We've been doing these after work live shows with the live band, the comedy, and the DJ. This is the fifth and finale one for 2022 tonight at 7:30. And it's special for me because my son's performing on this show as well. So all the family members that live up in Westchester County and Rockland get a chance to see him. They've never seen him. So that's tonight. Tomorrow I'll be in Tampa, Clearwater area at more eventful, celebrating my brother's birthday with a big comedy show and live band as well. And then I'm going to be with Jesse Taylor out in St. Louis on Sunday for Sunday Night's Comedy Live with Jesse Taylor, headlining that, and bringing my ass back home Monday. And I'll be taking a nap between 3 and 5.
Yeah, he sound like he going to be tired. Fig, talk to me, bro. How can we follow you?
Hey, man, you follow me on social media platforms at Comedian Fig. This weekend, man, I'm doing a private event, man, private birthday party, man, tomorrow night. That's going to be nice. That's going to be lovely. You got grown folks in the building, man, and everybody's anticipating this big birthday celebration, man. And what's amazing about what Talent is doing, performing with Jesse Taylor, this is the cousin of the Hall of Fame football player, Lawrence Taylor, which makes it extremely exciting.
Is it?
No.
Yo, Frank is crazy.
Nah, he had me, but I was like, really? Okay. Because Fig said it Fig said that so seriously. Maurice Smith, Mo Smith, a comedian. Tell everybody out there they can follow you with the Sit Your Ass Down segment.
Yeah, you got me on Instagram, MOE_comic on Instagram. I'm doing a private event this weekend. And then after that, Saturday night, I'm doing the wedding. And then I'm off in Massachusetts, I'm going to Boston to the Encore Casino for an appearance there. And then that's it. I ain't got nothing else. I'm still climbing this comedy pole, but I got a little something going on. And I'm getting ready for next Friday. Sit your ass down.
I just hope that appearance at the casino ain't an appearance for you to gamble, bro. That's an appearance for you to do comedy, right?
Yeah. No, I ain't a pair to gamble. No. I'm a pair. I'm there with the DJ as a special guest, as like to hype the crowd and everything for a little while.
Hey, what casino?
The Encore.
Yeah, I see you there. I'm not performing. I see you there.
Okay.
Yo, that's Talent. That's Fig. That's Maurice Smith. Shout out to Mike Sean. Hope he feels better, gets better. I'm not
sure man.
Or not. Him and Rodney Perry also, he's doing his thing. And Dave the Business Bully. I don't know why he ain't here because this Eagles won. Like he should have. I expected him to be here.
I heard what happened. You heard what happened to Mike. Mike was, remember when we was kids and you had like a skateboard or something and you grabbed the back of like a UPS truck and let it pull you.
Yeah.
Mike was doing that dumb shit.
Hey, down in New York, we used to ride the back of the bus. Remember, we used to ride when he had
Get on the back of that.
Yeah, when
Mike got hurt because Mike got the wrong truck. Mike tried to do that to an Amazon truck. They make too many stops.
Shout out to Mike. Hope he feels better, man.
Feel better, Mike.
This is the show.
Love you, boy.
Humor Mill. Box Seats is going to be on the Humor Mill channel. You know what I mean? I want to thank the guys. That you all be safe. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all mostly, of course, for supporting the show. We'll see y'all on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend.